What's going on, everybody? Another day in paradise. Wanted to hop up here and share with you guys the article that I wrote over on Substack, Preserving Mulatto History, a Critical Task for Cultural Survival and Identity. The history is what ties you to your people, to your identity. Your history is everything. Even with this whole social media endeavor, my whole goal initially, 3 years ago, was to share the history, was to draw inspiration from the history. How can we draw inspiration from the history and use that as a metric, as a blueprint moving into the future to guide us, to help us into the future? What did we do wrong? What did the Brown Fellowship Society do wrong? What did the Mulatto Band community do wrong? What happened? What happened? How did we allow the Anglo Saxon Club to remove the mulatto category from United States Census? How did we allow ourselves to be maneuvered into blackness to serve them in their battles? What happened? What happened? So analyzing history is incredibly important. I guess I can say publicly I'm a pseudo historian. My whole goal here with this endeavor, with this channel and my social media is I'm learning. I'm learning, but I'm also teaching because there are those of you out here who don't know, are not privy to the information that I have, who don't know as much as I do. And my job is to share with you and others, even you in the audience. I'm a humble servant. Those of you in the audience who share with me, my day one supporter, one of my biggest supporters, one of my biggest inspirations within this whole space is Flowers Telling Stewart. She has been a critical inspiration with sharing landmark mulatto history with me. And with that, I feel like it's my obligation to share the information she shares with me to all of you, to the public. And this is a mutual exchange. We're all here to share, to learn, to teach, and to grow. That is the goal here. History is critically important. I cannot stress that enough. And obviously, when you with the social media, you get sidetracked with other stuff. That's kind of a minimal, you know, situation, right? You get sidetracked with a lot of other foolishness that is not, that kind of, derails you off the course. But like I said initially, the historical aspect is really what kind of drew me into this whole discussion. It was like, I want to learn more about mulatto history. I need to discover these landmark characters, not characters, landmark icons, personalities, people who have made a difference, who share my heritage, who share my phenotype, representation, etc. And I think for me, my standards, I'm doing a pretty good job to my standards of sharing with you what my findings, the findings that I found. So this is the article that I wrote over on Substack. You guys can check it out. It's going to be in the description. I can share it as well in the chat in a bit, but I'm just going to jump right into it right now. Again, the whole premise here is for mulatto history, the preservation of mulatto history and how it's a critical task for cultural survival, establishing a unique mulatto culture that serves us and our interests. And also the identity with this whole identity formation, getting out of the black and the white binary identity and forming a identity that serves the mulatto contingent. This is a critical task, a difficult task, but it's necessary. It has to be done for the future. Everything we're doing, what I'm doing, I can say for myself right now, this is all for the future. So the future generations do not waste time putting their energy, their expertise, and depositing their emotion elsewhere where they're not seeing any residuals from it. They're giving, 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 putting all this energy and all their everything, and then they don't see any return on it. My goal is I want the mulattoes who give into this to get something back from it. That's the whole goal here. So let me start out. Now, what I put here, kind of a subtitle, should we declare the month of May Mulatto History Month? Now, other people have brought the question where I think they have stressed that June might be more plausible for various reasons because you have the multi racial heritage month in June. Loving's Day is in June as well. So people have brought that up, and very interesting. What do you guys think about that? For me, it's very kind of easy and broad and cliche with May mulatto, right? Why not March? I don't know. May just sounded like it fit more. May, and because we're in the month of May, obviously, as well, right? So May is Mulatto History Month. Why not? I mean, it should be Mulatto History Month every month. There's so much for us to uncover and discover. And that's my job here. That's my mission with this channel. There's so much we can learn and discover. And I want to explore this with all of you. And as I always stress, is that it's not only about taking inspiration from the past, looking into the past and these notable, icons and figures, but also what are we doing right now? Who are the people right now that are putting themselves out here, dedicating themselves to the mulatto plight, the mulatto collective, mulatto identity, solidarity, building a network of dedicated mulattoes who are proud. Like this is all part and parcel of establishing history as what we're doing right now, 2025. And you guys are joining me along for the whole endeavor. Let me get right into this. The preservation of mulatto history is a fundamental and urgent task for the survival and continued development of the mulatto identity. Throughout history, there has been an ongoing effort to distort, dilute, and even erase the history and achievements of mulattoes. And I can just I'll insert this concept of black washing, because when you're in black spaces, they talk about whitewashing. But what they don't talk about is the other side of that. Now you're in a mulatto space, and there is, in fact, a concept of black washing. And I'm going to repeat the sentence again. Throughout history, there has been an ongoing effort to distort, dilute, and even erase the history and achievements of mulattoes. And we can basically lay it out as blackwashing. This deliberate erasure is not merely accidental, but is perpetuated by an overarching agenda that seeks to undermine the unique contributions and presence of mulatto people in various historical and cultural contexts. It is imperative that we recognize the importance of preserving and promoting mulatto history, not only for the sake of cultural survival, but also to ensure that future generations can build upon the rich legacy that has been so often marginalized. This is why I'm here. This is my mission. This is my call to action, my why. This is why I'm here. So the future generations can build upon a rich legacy that has been so often marginalized. How can we effectively preserve this history and share it with the broader public? What I'm doing right now. What I'm doing right now, this is exactly how we can do it. I'm setting the example. Who will assume the responsibility of carrying out this crucial task? These are essential questions that require thoughtful consideration and action. While it is no easy feat, the importance of this endeavor cannot be overstated. One of the most effective mediums of sharing history in the modern world is social media. As I'm talking to you right now live in the flesh, with its vast reach and accessibility, social media provides a platform through which mulatto history can be documented and shared in real time, as we're doing right now. Around the planet, you are listening to yours truly. By utilizing these tools, we can counteract the long-standing erasure of mulatto narratives and ensure that our history are told by us for our history, that our stories are told by us for us. The importance of telling these stories cannot be overstated, as the history of mulatto people has often been forgotten, overshadowed, or misrepresented by larger cultural forces. The overshadowing portion is significantly important to understand, where they tell our stories. We're kind of in the background, right? They want to push us in the background, but to prop up another demographic. They don't cover the whole. That's the whole premise, the whole point here with this channel here is to uncover those details to say we are the center of the discussion. This is a mulatto centered space. We don't adhere to everyone else's sensibilities to relinquish our own autonomy. This is for us. There's other channels, other media networks, etc., that will promote these other identities and people. This is a mulatto centered space unapologetically. So we're telling our stories here and we're sharing the history. And continuing on where I left off, the importance of telling these stories cannot be overstated, as the history of mulatto people has often been forgotten, overshadowed, as I said, critically important, overshadowed, and misrepresented by larger cultural forces. It is not enough simply to preserve our history. We must also build upon it. This is why I emphasize here about in real time what's going on right now with mulattoes, documenting it and stating it and presenting it as history. Like a lot of the videos that I will upload on this channel is about modern day, personalities, actors, entertainers, etc., athletes, you name it. Modern people right now that are like still young, kind of like my age or so, right? And I'm documenting this as history because, yes, this is part of building upon it. We're keeping a documented log track record of this. We don't have to go back 300 years. We could have Chevalier here. Like, let's look right now, what's right in front of us, draw inspiration around us. Sharing our experiences and accomplishments in a manner that reflects the complexity and depth of our identity. Preserving mulatto history is vital for the development of our communities, fostering a sense of pride, unity, and purpose. This is the whole point. Fostering a sense of pride, unity, and purpose. You have a purpose, you have a tribe, you need to be proud of yourself. This is the whole function of all of my social media, not just this channel. You find me over on Threads or you find me on TikTok or whatever. This is the purpose. As we look to the future, we must learn from our past, understanding that the lessons of history can guide us in our ongoing struggle for representation, equality, and empowerment. And that's why I said you draw, for me personally, for me, I draw inspiration from history. Like I said, I guess I can say pseudo historian. I've taken that role with the channel. I have to live up to it. But I'm a very humble servant. I'm a servant to the mulatto people. I'm very humble in my position. Or it's like if you can show me or teach me or share information, I'm all ears. But I know vastly my audience, they want to hear these stories. They want to know, they want to learn. So it's my job to present the information to them the best that I can. I'm only human. But the representation component and empowerment is significantly important. Representation is everything. We're underrepresented. And as I also stated up here, that we're often overshadowed. Our stories, our history is overshadowed, and we're underrepresented. It's a major problem. Okay. You have Joseph Bolonges here. As I posted a video, a t-shirt that came in the mail, was wearing it the other day. It's this gentleman is a soldier, fought in the French Revolution, violinist, master fencer, composer, classical composer, a jack of many trades is what they say, right? He had many outfits, basically. Very astute and prolific individual, right? And he's one example of many others. Many other mulatto women, as I always have shared on my channel, and other mulatto men as well. He's just one example, I think is a great example And also, I think the reason why I want to stress this man particularly, because they had a movie, and I talked about this on my channel, my other channel, the one that I kind of started out this venture with. And like a couple years ago, maybe 2, 3 years ago, when I barely started, and I was starting to uncover a lot of this history, and they made a film called Chevalier, and it's like, and then they casted the guy as a black guy. He's not a mulatto guy. And I pointed out in the trailer, in the live stream that I did, the trailer, like they showed the early life of Chevalier, and they casted a biracial, a mulatto child, a mulatto boy. But then later on, as the boy grew up, all of a sudden they made him like super dark skinned and black. They casted a black man to play this mulatto man. And I talked about that in my live stream on my other channel, where it's this misrepresentation, overshadowing. You'll see that in a lot of like Afrocentric kind of media outlets and vlogs, where they will blacken up these mulatto historical icons like a Frederick Douglass or W.E.B. Du Bois or even Bob Marley. Like they'll blacken them up. Literally, they'll make their skin look darker. They've done that with this man too, literally in the film, in the motion picture film. And we're sitting there like, and they have the Obama film, South Side by Me, I believe it's called. They had a black guy play the character who's like 50 shades darker than Obama. Like, and you guys can take it how you want, the tone, but this is reality. This is mulatto erasure. And I'm not having it. I'm not standing for it. And that's the reason why this channel is important for you guys. People want to overshadow, erase you, and make it to where you don't have any representation. And I'm not tolerating that. I'm not having that. That's why I'm up here talking to you guys. So this is just one example of what they try to do to erase our history, but they do that in many other accords as well. So let me continue on. The role of history in shaping identity and community. History serves as a bridge connecting the past, present, and future. It is through the study and preservation of history that we can ensure a meaningful connection between these temporal spaces. This is why it's critically important. That's why the function of this channel, okay, and I've said this like when I just started out, when I just started out this stream, like it's the bridge to connect us from the past to the future, even with the present, the past to present, but also have a better, you know, basically guidebook to direct us into the future. Where do we want to go? What did we do wrong, and how can we fix that? Do we want to continuously be absorbed into the general body politic where they can erase us, but these other dominant groups, they can still have their identity, right? They're not going to erase the Arabic identity. They're not going to erase the Chinese identity. They're not going to erase the Latino identity. But when it comes to the mulatto, they want you to just shut up and just take a seat and be quiet and see. And they've been effective at doing that, of silencing mulatto voices. How many people out here are talking this and mentioning this? Nobody. It's just me, baby. That's why you're over here. So, for any community, history is what defines identity. Let me repeat that. For any community, all communities would, regardless, history is what defines identity. Their whole thinking pattern, their operational manual, it's based off their history. What they draw from their history, they know how to operate currently. It is through understanding and learning from our history that we form a collective identity, which in turn enables us to make informed decisions about our future. History is the greatest teacher. There's no doubt about that. If we can learn from history, it will guide us into the future. I honestly believe this with my heart. The preservation of history is not simply an act of remembering the past, but is a way to learn from it, avoid past mistakes, and chart a positive course for the future. For mulattoes, this is particularly critical. If we fail to preserve and understand our history, we risk being trapped in a cycle of stagnation. where progress remains elusive and our unique contributions continue to be marginalized and erased. You don't get the credit where credit's due. You get marginalized and erased through history. So when they see a guy like this, Chevalier, they're going to make a whole motion picture Hollywood film based on this guy. They're going to cast someone that's blacker than the Black Panther and say that's, they're going to have them take the credit for your wins. Just like I just mentioned with Southside by Me, with the Obama movie. They're going to have someone who's not a mulatto play the character. And it happened in the Thurgood Marshall movie. I think it was called Justice. You had rest in peace, R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman, who played the Black Panther, but he played Thurgood Marshall, who's a mulatto man in the movie. I think it was called Justice or something like that, right? Thurgood Marshall, mulatto man, Supreme Court justice. So this is what happens in the United States of America. We see with popular media, they have black males who play the role of mulatto men. This is mulatto erasure. And if we don't tell our stories and we're not, if we're not advocates of our history and representation, this is what happens. They erase you and overshadow you. My tone is changing because it's just the significance of this is important, right? And we get marginalized and erased. And it's not just Chevalier. They did it with Obama's film. They did it with Thurgood Marshall's film. They're going to do it with more. Let's say in like 30, 40 years from now, when I'm an old man, and they do a film on Doja Cat, they're going to have they're going to have someone like a Lauryn Hill or something like that, like try to play Doja Cat. Like it's going to happen to all of us. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys and gals. It's going to happen to all of us. They're going to erase us and take all of our wins. It's important for us to claim our wins. This is us. This is part of us. And they want to steal this from you. And this is part of that marginalization process. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not with it. I'm not trying to be marginalized. So I'm not going to accept it. I won't have it. We cannot afford to remain stagnant, confined to a state of historical amnesia. If we do, we will find ourselves continually repeating the same mistakes, failing to break free from the constraints that have historically defined us. It is essential that we progress in a direction that acknowledges our past, celebrates our achievements, even now present, is what I always want to do. These beautiful, elegant, intelligent mulattoes and sophisticated, strong mulattoes currently right now celebrating our wins, achievements, okay, and secures our place in the present and future. Because we got to focus right now. I'm not dwelling in the past, ladies and gentlemen, but we have to draw inspiration from the past, document it, let these people know this is ours. This is our history. These are our icons. We have representation. This is part of us. These are our ancestors, our history. And people want to destroy you and marginalize you by denying you your birthright. This is why this is so important for everything that's going on right now. And then, of course, leading into the future. In order to break free from these cycles, we must actively engage with our history, learn from it. And I'm learning from it. I'm learning with you guys. Like I said, one of my most respected people that I found in these spaces is Telling Stewart. Like, so much of what she shared with me is just been amazing. I owe her so much. I'm so thankful for someone like that. A day one supporter. My first video on YouTube talking about mulatto consciousness. Just let me just throw my hat in the ring. I see all these other content creators are talking about mixed race and biracial and golden and all this other stuff. Who is talking about mulatto? I didn't see not anybody out there. And so I was like, let me just put some stuff out here. And of course, Telling Stewart has been a day one. And use it as foundation for future growth. This will not only ensure that mulattoes are accurately represented, but also empower our communities to thrive. creating and documenting mulatto history as we're doing right now. This whole social media, this whole experimentation, this is it. We're creating history. We're making the history right now as I speak to you, but we're also documenting it for the public to witness. Accurately documenting mulatto history is crucial for affirming our existence and our historical presence across the globe. This is globally. Like Chevalier is a Frenchman. He's a Frenchman, right? I'm a mulatto American, but the global presence of mulattoes is something that has to be stated. We are a global people. Mulatto communities have a rich and varied history, with notable contributions spanning continents and centuries, from the shores of West Africa to Europe and the Americas. Mulattoes have played an integral role in shaping the course of history, without a doubt. You cannot deny this. It is essential that we take ownership of our narrative, ensuring that our stories are told authentically and not misrepresented or subsumed by other racial or cultural groups. Now, we can say there's specifically, I don't even know if I want to go there right now. I did kind of earlier. They say other racial and cultural groups, primarily it's going to be monoracial black. I can say that confidently right now, confidently, because I already stated where it's like that's what happened with Chevalier in the film. That's what happened with Barack Obama in the film. Southside by Me. That's what happened with Thurgood Marshall in the film. I think it was called Justice or something. That Chadwick Bosewick played the character of a mulatto man. This is a consistent theme of what we see that happens. So, like other racial and cultural groups, plural, but it's specifically one group. And then people will kind of get offended when I highlight that, and they'll try to frame the narrative in certain ways. But it's like, look, we have to kind of call that out and highlight that. And we have to make the corrections. It's on us. It's on the mulattoes to make the corrections. We're going to correct their mistakes and how they're misrepresenting true historical facts. No, this is a mulatto man. This is a mulatto woman. This is our representation. And we're taking it back. We're claiming it. It's ours. It's not yours to take from us. When mulatto history is ignored or erased, it is often absorbed into broader narratives that fail to acknowledge the distinct experiences and achievements of mulatto people. This process of quote unquote blackwashing is what I've called it. I always call it, right? And co opting mulatto history is a form of cultural erasure that undermines our identity and diminishes our contributions. A notable example of this erasure can be seen in a way that figures like Barack Obama, as I talked about with the South Side by Me film, and also W.E.B. Du Bois, are often described in ways that obscure their mulatto heritage. Or even Barack Obama's wife referred to him as a biracial man, right? Publicly at the White House. And then W.B. Du Bois, he on his census records, he's listed as mulatto, right? But they always kind of frame it in as like black. And you're looking at the man. I have an image here. Where? Like nowhere, nobody in Africa looks like this man. This is a mulatto man. This is mulatto history. For example, Obama is frequently referred to as the quote unquote first black president of the United States, yet his identity as a mulatto with a white mother and a black father is often overlooked. Similarly, Du Bois, W. Du Bois, who's pictured here, a seminal figure in the history of African American thought, is often categorized as black, despite being listed as mulatto in census records. Same thing with Frederick Douglass, I might add as well. Frederick Douglass is another one. These examples demonstrate how the history and contributions of mulattoes can be distorted or ignored, a trend that must be actively countered through diligent documentation and public recognition of our distinct identity. It's on us. It's on us, ladies and gentlemen. Like the public, everyone around, they're all in cahoots. I'm not trying to paint us as a victim, but they're going to maintain the status quo. The arrangement they have is working for them because they can wield and maneuver power more into their hands. They do not want you to have the power. So they're not going to give it to you, easily. You're going to have to fight for it. This is the point. And not all of us have the fight in us, but fortunately for you, you ran into the right one. I got the fight in me. That's why I'm up here talking. Conclusion. The path forward for preserving and promoting mulatto history. In conclusion, the preservation of mulatto history is not merely a matter of safeguarding the past, but is a vital component of ensuring the cultural survival and growth of mulatto communities. By documenting our history and sharing our stories, we not only honor our ancestors, but also provide a foundation for future generations to build upon. This is it. This is my goal here. I want to create a catalog of reliable, credible information that these mulattoes who are looking for answers. Some of these mulattoes, like I asked them, I messaged them, how'd you find my channel? How'd you come across me? I'm just in my own little space, my own little spot corner of the internet. Right? How'd you find me? And I asked them, like, oh, they did research. They said, oh, they typed up mulatto. They were looking up mulatto and they found me, right? They're in the right place. They were looking for answers and they're finding solutions to their problems. They're finding the answers to the questions they've had. They're finding their tribe. So by documenting our history and sharing our stories, we are not only honoring ancestors, but also providing a foundation for future generations to build upon. And that's what I want right here with this channel, is I want people to look at this as a credible source. Like, you have this information, you have these notable mulattoes, you have something to build upon. This is the whole problem. We must actively resist the forces that seek to erase or misrepresent our history and assert our presence in the historical narrative. Social media and other platforms provide invaluable opportunities to amplify our voices and share our history with the world. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. And I got people, Pardos in Brazil. I got, colored people in South Africa. Around the globe, I got mulattoes in the United Kingdom, right? Who are engaged in this conversation. And it's like they're all welcome. I'm so thankful. It's beautiful that you guys are engaged in the conversation. You guys want to learn. You guys want to share. You want to learn. You want to teach. This is a community effort. This is a mulatto community effort. We can all do our part. We all have a part to do. I'm not special. I say that every day. I'm nobody special. I'm just one person out here that's doing my part. As we continue to navigate the complexities of identity and representation, it is essential that we remain steadfast in our commitment to preserving and promoting mulatto history. Only by doing so can we ensure that our legacy is acknowledged, celebrated, and built upon for generations to come. And that's the goal. My goal is to pass the mantle. I've been doing this for 3 years. My goal is eventually to pass the mantle. I want to see other content creators take the mantle, promote mulatto history, promote mulatto cohesion, promote mulatto business, mulatto coupling, mulatto networks, mulatto nationhood. I want to see that. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. The numbers warrant it. The growth trajectory. We're already here now. It's up to dedicated people to make the effort to continue the process. It's already going to happen. It's inevitable. I knew this when I started. Then you guys who just find my channel or stumble upon social media, whatever, it's already going to happen. The momentum is already swinging. It's already working in our favor. It's just, do you want to be on the positive side of that, or do you want to remain in stagnation? That's it. And of course, a newsletter. Guys, you can find all of this at mulattovanguard.substack.com. Check out my Substack. Every month, the beginning of the month, first of the month, I'm going to release a newsletter. You'll find over there. Of course, I'll hop over here and read it, check it out with you guys. And, follow me over there just regardless on Substack, because eventually, you never know. Here or there, I might just publish some articles random here or there, because I do like to write. I do write. It's a hobby of mine. And so if you just follow me over on Substack, there's content, exclusive content over there you're probably not going to find over here. This is video format, audio format over here where I kind of talk, but over there it's all written. And so stuff over there that I promote and post over there, I might not share over here. So it's best to stay connected to all my platforms so you can get specific content if you guys want to stay informed. So we're in May right now. It's May the 15th, 2025. And yeah, just kind of a call to action, ways to progress. Start a social media page, tell your story. That's the basic you can do. What I'm doing, basic. Start a social media page, just talk, tell your story. Number two, connect with fellow mulattoes and grow your social media network. Okay. And by you telling your story, you're just going to connect with people regardless. So number two will come right after that. Number three, advocate for reinstatement of the mulatto category on the United States Census by emailing the Office of Business and Management. That is critical. That's really what a lot of us are here. That's the kind of goal, the end goal agenda is to have our unique category recognized. And I just shared a petition that was brought to my attention from the Mixed Lens Mulatto lady. Created a petition and I uploaded a video. I kind of talked about it earlier today, several hours ago. And there's another petition we have out here promoting the mulatto identity, mulatto classification, and urging the United States Census to reinstate our unique racial designation. So this is something, this is like a step, a call to action every single day, every month, we're going to have to stay doing always until they fulfill our needs. That's it. Like, we're not going to just give up. It's just this month, email the office. No, every month you need to email them. They need to know we're here. They need to know our numbers are growing. They need to know our influence is growing, and we're not going to let up. Okay. The mulatto identity will be recognized. It's on us. It's all on us. And a nice quote here that I like because it's very fitting because it's kind of the initial kind of prelude to all this with this kind of newsletter initiation. The key to success is to start before you are ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready with a lot of stuff. I'm not ready, but I feel like I'm successful already to my own standards because I'm just, figuring it out as I go, right? And I'm not ready, but I'm already starting. Like, there's a lot of stuff. I have other, projects I'm working on currently right now, and it's like I'm not ready for this stuff. I'm just chilling. I'm gonna, you know, be chilling on a beach pretty soon. you know, doing what I love to do, which is just relax. And so I'm not ready in a lot of respects, but it's like I got to start anyways. And so here we are. I like this quote. This quote was so fitting for this kind of premiere of this newsletter. The key to success is to start before you are ready. It's already started. Just getting ready right now. Yeah, I love it. So birthday shout outs, we got The Rock, May 2nd. And then, of course, this beautiful mulatta, talented, elegant mulatta, Mel B, right? Melanie B, Scary Spices, May 29th. So in a couple weeks, her birthday's coming up. Of course, I'm going to give her a shout out when it comes up. She's mulatta identified. And much respect to her, man. I love promoting her. I love promoting mulattoes who identify as mulatto. Now, because she's a European lady, so she'll use mixed race more so, which we know is more broad, but the thought is still there. Like, she acknowledges her mother's heritage. She's dual heritage, European and African. That's a start for me. The word or terminology you guys want to use, you guys I've been doing this for 3 years. You guys always cry and whine. Let's call ourselves Afropean. Let's call ourselves Euro-Afric. Let's call ourselves Golden. You people have been crying for 3 years, and I'm the one man who's been up here that said mulatto, mulatto, mulatto. I know a lot of you are not going to go along with it. You'll still listen, tune in, and draw inspiration, but I've been pretty stern and firm in my position here. So that's what I got here for you guys. Guys, go check out the Substack. Greatly appreciated the Substack. And yeah, that's what I got for you guys right now. I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure to hit the like button, share the stream with someone you think is going to find some value with it. And I'll talk to you guys pretty soon. All right. Adios.